What's going on? I'm going to talk about Pentax Day, Pentax Talk. But first off, there's been a lot of stuff going on lately. I'm going to talk about Olympus, and I'm going to kind of mix this in with Pentax and ricoh. Okay, so Olympus just got bought by another company, not a photography company. So a lot of people are thinking this is the demise of Olympus. Companies buy companies, especially when the stock market falls down. They'll buy a company because the stock is low. So the camera sales in general have been down lately, but this company went ahead and bought them, and they're not even a camera company, so it's kind of what's going on here. I guess we'll see, but hopefully Olympus stays around. I like the Micro Four Thirds system, and I think the Olympus glass is really nice. If I didn't own a Pentax, that would probably be my second pick. Would probably be Olympus. I'd probably use theirs. Well, I haven't tried Fuji, but I might look at Fuji and decide, but I've had several Olympus cameras and really enjoyed them. Okay, so that gets me to this. ricoh bought Pentax in 2011, so it's been almost 10 years. How would you rank ricoh after the taking over for Pentax? I personally would give them probably a C plus because they're continuing to they're continuing to release stuff. They put the K1 out there, so I gotta give them props for that. But their marketing obviously has always sucked. It hadn't gotten any better. Another thing is this delay of this flagship camera that's been rumored for going on 4 years now or something like that. 4 years, 3 or 4 years. So yeah. So those are some of the reasons I only gave them a C plus. Also about their marketing, I see, watch a lot of baseball when it's going on, but I've seen the ricoh banner in the back. Sometimes you see behind the batters, you might see Canon or Nikon stuff. I've seen a ricoh thing, but it doesn't say Pentax, it just says ricoh. So I'm like, okay, are they trying to market just ricoh, the other ricoh stuff, or there's no Pentax listed on there? But sometimes when companies buy other companies, they try to just totally erase the name and just put like just ricoh, just change all the brand names to ricoh. But luckily they hadn't done that because I kind of like the Pentax brand. They still have Pentax right there on the front, but there'll be ricoh in there somewhere on the gear as well. So I'm glad they didn't try to get rid of the name brand. Like there's a park down the road that they renamed the park. It's called Carbide Park, and about 20 years ago they renamed it to Clark Park. Everybody still calls it Carbide Park. They don't call it Clark Park. So anyway, that's just a side story. Anyway, so yeah, what do you give Pentax a grade? I give them a C, or ricoh. I gave them a C plus. They could do a little bit better, but overall I think they've done really good. A lot of companies just like they'll buy another company and the company like just is gone basically. So hopefully Olympus sticks around. All right, next I'm going to talk about let's talk about sales for Pentax gear or whatnot. I recently decided to buy a new lens, new telephoto zoom. I was going to buy the 55-300 PLM. Guess what? That sucker is sold out everywhere. So that just tells you there that Pentax is selling gear. So every place is pretty much sold out of it. It's out of stock. I ordered it from ricoh, and obviously the part of the reason they're out of stock is because shipments are slow with the virus and everything. But it was just nice to see that every place was out of stock. So that means their sales are still doing really well. A lot of the other camera manufacturers their sales have gone down. So I think, I hadn't seen actual numbers, but I think Pentax might be, steadily staying the same or maybe even going up a little bit. So that's really cool. I ordered the lens off of actually the ricoh website, and it is back ordered, like I said. So I gave them a call after I placed the order, and they said the lenses should be in early July, but no promises. The lady on the phone was actually really nice. That's the first time I've ever talked to anybody from ricoh. So no promises on that, but she did say that they would get their lenses in before like B&H would. So I have more of a chance of getting it sooner from them than I would from B&H. So that was nice. what else we talk about? Okay, we could talk about the big one, the lawsuit. Yeah, there's been a class action lawsuit against Ricoh for the aperture block, which you've probably heard about. I've never heard I heard the first time I heard about aperture block. It's where you take your picture, all of a sudden starts taking dark pictures, the aperture, and getting correctly in the camera. There's a solenoid in there. You could Google it and find out all about what it is. But the cameras that it affected were the K30, K50, K70, KS2. I think those were all the cameras. And in the lawsuit, they claim that it's been going on, and you know about it, and they're still doing it or whatnot. Well, I'll tell you what. Like I said, I hadn't heard about this issue, and I'm always up with Pentax stuff until like a year ago. So the K30 was released in like 2012. So I mean, we're going on a long while. I don't know how long you expect your camera to last. I don't know when theirs broke, but now I'm seeing a lot of them come out of the woodwork saying that they had aperture problems and all this. It doesn't really do good. I think it's blown out of proportion, because I've had the K30, I've had the K50, I've had the KS2, I've had the K70, never had an issue. So a couple of people have a problem, then it's like boom, and act like it's every camera out there. So it kind of gives them a bad rap. It probably hurts their sales. So it's kind of disheartening on that, because I've never had an issue. There was even a guy in the comments, and he was like, I had the K30, it failed. I had the K50, it failed, and now I had the K70, it failed. I was like, okay, you had the K30 and it failed, and then you bought the K50. Now why the hell would you buy a K70 if your previous two cameras failed? I just think he's trolling or whatnot. I just thought that was kind of funny. I was like, really, dude? So but you have to think about it this way. So if, say, they sell, let's say, 250,000 K70s, they get back under warranty, say 5,000 cameras with that problem. That would alarm them to try to fix it in the next, their next camera out there. But if they only have like 200 come back under warranty with that problem, are they going to invest all that research time to come up with a different solution to it? That's where the business part comes in, and they evaluate it. I'm assuming that's how they do it. They look at the data and stuff and kind of come up with, is this worth fixing? It's not really that big a deal, but then it gets blown out of proportion, like I said, through social media and stuff like that. Like I said, I didn't hear about it until a year ago. But what I did hear about is the SDM motors. Now, this is a known issue that's been going on for a long time, and they still release lenses with the SDM motor. SDM motor is, people call it the silent deadly motor. I've actually had a lens go out under warranty, so it was fixed. But basically, it's a silent motor in the lens, and the way it fails is the way mine fails, it just slightly gets slower and slower to focus, and then it kind of just stops responding, and then you could get it to respond, and then it's just gone. There's ways to fix it. You could re-enable the lens to screw drive autofocus, but yeah, it's been a known issue, and I hadn't seen where they've actually done anything about it. I think that would be a bigger lawsuit case, because that's been widely reported. I think that's more of an issue than the aperture block. So and I was going to, one more thing. I was thinking about this the other day, since stuff gets kind of blown out of proportion. The ricoh pen. Have you ever got a lens stuck on your camera? I mean, like it's stuck on there, you couldn't get it off. When I first started Pentax, I heard about this. You could get a ricoh pen stuck on, there's a little pin that will get stuck in the autofocus part of your mount, and you can't get the lens off. I heard about that at first. I even did a video on how to remove it, because I watched I read some guys and saw his pictures, so I kind of replicated that and did a video about how to take out this pin. I think that is a rumor, because I don't even look at the pin anymore. I just put it on the camera. And, there's been a few times where it kind of didn't want to go on, but it was because the mount was semi-bent or something. But I've never had an issue with that. If you've ever had I remember at the time it was like every lens, don't put it on your camera, freaking people out. But I've never had a problem with it. A few times it kind of seemed like it was stuck. All I did was hold down the release for the mount and then just jig a little bit, and it comes right off. And if it does that, I won't put it on the camera again. I'll put it on a K1000 or something. It'll work fine. So there's that. And there was one other thing. I can't think of it off the top of my head. Anyway, I guess that's enough talking. Thanks for watching. Go ahead and subscribe. Thanks.